taking down those shelves wasn't a great idea. Well, my garage has been a work in progress, and I think it's time to take it to phase 5, which is installing more slat wall and electrical upgrades. Before we begin the slat wall installation, we need to do a sub-panel upgrade. Currently the whole garage and foyer is on one 15 amp breaker. So we're going to have a 100 amp sub-panel installed with a few dedicated circuits along with a 240. Just in case if I want to maybe run a plasma cutter. So let's continue on with the slat wall installation.
So what we're going to start out with is mounting some 2x4s against this wall, and it's going to bump it out a little bit. And the Proslat Slatwall is going to go over those studs. This way, just in case if I need to fish some wiring or something over, it could go tuck nice and neatly behind the wall. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to start mounting the Proslat Slatwall onto the wall. So let's get going.
This video is actually sponsored by Proslat. They have plenty of options for your garage organizational needs, going from the slat wall, which is what I'm going to be installing, but let's go down a little bit. They also have cabinets, storage bins, look how nice those look. You got pro rack for your bikes and stuff, and tool chests. But we're going to be focusing on slat wall for this video, and it's not your average like pegboard, your grandpa's pegboard system. This is a nice way to organize and mount tools or anything basically to the wall. You even have aluminum. It's pretty easy to install. It could be mounted flush against your pre-existing studs, that's drywall, or you could fur it out like I am with some 2x4s. That way you could fish some wiring or something behind it, and that way, you know, you could just make everything a lot easier for later on if you want to do some upgrades. Each square foot could handle 75 pounds. Of course, that's when you mount it onto some studs. I'm very excited to get this going. I already have it installed on my back wall, and it's a great system to have to keep everything organized. So I really appreciate Proslat for sponsoring today's video. So let's go ahead and continue on with the installation. I'm first going to find all the studs. Again, you could just flush mount this right to the studs, but I'm furring it out. That way I could fish some wires or anything that I want behind her. We can't do electrical because it has to be in conduit, but maybe say if I want speaker wires or some low voltage like network wire or something, I can then fish it behind the slat wall with ease. Right now I'm installing or putting on the studs to fur out the wall, and I had to actually wait a little while because the lumber prices were so high. I basically waited about a year because I wasn't going to pay $10 for one 2x4. I was able to get these for about $3.89 each, so it wasn't as bad, but still about 50% markup from just over 2 years ago. Now I'm going to mount my little power strip here. It has some nice high power LEDs, but this power strip is meant to be mounted above the work surface, like on a workbench. And I just found it to be a nice power strip. It has USBs on it and everything. Now I'm trying to determine where my J channel is going to go, and I'm marking out 8 feet because each slat is 8 feet long. So J channel, if you want to think about it this way, it's like siding for your house. It's just going to help with your exposed sides for hiding it. You want to make sure that starting off that all your pieces are level, and then you want to alternate your leveling every other piece. Get to see a one-legged guy go up and down a ladder a lot. Well, this window was installed in the garage about 13 years ago, and I'm just now getting to installing the drywall. Yeah, I'd say the procrastination got the best out of me on this one. But I'm not going to be mudding around any of the seams here because all of this is going to be hidden with cabinets and the slat wall itself. You can waste your time if you want, but I'm not going to. After loosening up the conduit, the sheet of drywall just slides right in there. And since I'm not going to be mudding any of it, I'm not going to even mud around the window at all, because I'm going to have the 2x4 surrounding the window, and then I'm going to have the J channel, and all of it's going to be covered. All I have to do is then trim around where, like, get some wood and trim around the window on the inside for the ledge, and it'll be all done, possibly in a later video. To give you an idea of what I'm going through here, I'm measuring, and I'm going up and down the ladder and sitting on a stool. So every time I measure, I bring the measurements down, make my cuts, bring the piece back up, and do it all over again. Yeah, all with one leg up and down the ladder. And I'm still mounting the studs against the wall. You may want to just call them furring strips, but definitely will make it nice to fish any wires behind it if I so choose. And we're on the next day. I'm installing the J channel around the window. I had to try to figure out how I want it to look. I'm not a carpenter. I just pretend to be one on YouTube. So if a one-legged guy that doesn't have any carpenter experience can do this, I think you can too. Now I'm just making sure I am level to the panel on the left-hand side. So I'm adjusting everything and trying to make sure that it's as level as can be. Now you only get enough J channel for 4 foot high and 8 foot wide. So 3 pieces. So if you're going around the window or something, you're gonna want to order more. And I suggest ordering more anyways, because if you mess up like I did here, you're out of J channel. But if you're not going around a window or something, you're just going straight up, you may not need to order any extra. But definitely, if you're going around any objects, you're gonna want to order more J channel. Now this last piece here, this one was kind of a pain for me. It was, of course, the window isn't perfectly square to where everything is, and I had to readjust this J channel above it and try to fit this in. It was kind of a pain. But it's nice when you get these runs up that almost all the pieces are exactly the same size. Now when you are installing these, you want breathing room on the ends. You don't want them nice and snug. Think about installing a laminate flooring or something. You want room for it to expand and contract. So you definitely don't want it to be solid on both sides. You want it to wiggle around a little bit, and then go ahead and screw it in place. Now, having one leg and being on a ladder is very unstable to begin with, even though I'm kind of using my stump there on some of the risers to get and make myself a little bit more stable. But when I get to the second to the top or the very top run of the ladder, I just don't like it at all. And I'm going to see if my brother could help me with these very top 2 pieces. So my brother made it over. You can tell that we both have almost the same hairlines, but he thinks that he still has hair, so he should really just shave it and just be done with it. Say, I'm no longer in denial, and I really don't have any hair left. So anyways, he's a very social butterfly, and as you can see, I get more work done when I'm doing it than when he's doing it, but he did get it done. Now I went with these Home Depot cabinets, and they kind of arrived damaged, at least the bottom parts. This is forklift damage. It pierced the box and through, and they hit the cabinet doors. I suggest if you get any cabinets like this delivered, you inspect them right away, because Home Depot's return policy is, well, you can't just get the cabinets replaced, you have to get the whole set replaced. And you could return it and get a refund and then wait, because that's what I had to do. I didn't have that type of money to just order another set, so I had to, basically it set me back 3 weeks to get another set of cabinets.
3 weeks later.
Well, the cabinets finally arrived, and my brother assisted me with the installation of them. It's pretty straightforward. There's plenty of videos out there on how to do it, and if you want to, I can put a link down below. My daughter helped me with some cleanup here. As you can see, it's getting a lot better, because there were shelves over on this side before. That's where all that stuff came from. And now we're going to focus on the corner here where all the 3D printers were.
Bear. Hey, Oreo. And Bear. Oreo. Bear.
Unfortunately, I was down for the count for a few weeks. I really wasn't motivated to do anything.
It was COVID related.
Also, I had some more conduit ran up the wall. That way I could always add more outlets on the other side of the garage if needed. It was actually a suggestion my brother made. And you know what? For once, I think he was right. So I went ahead with it. And we're just chugging along here. Still kind of in recovery mode. My body is fighting me when I'm trying to do all this. But we're still pushing along. And just installing the studs against the wall like we did before. And I want to make sure that this J channel is nice and level with the slat wall to the left. And I am not putting any J channel around the sub panel because there's really nowhere to mount it. So I'm just trying to make sure my measurements are precise as possible. And I think it's coming out pretty nicely. Again, you want to make sure that you are checking for level basically on every other run. That way you're not off and you could try to adjust the pieces a little bit here and there. And as we approach that electrical outlet, it's going to be a pretty tough cut, but I think we can manage. The reason why I say it's a tough cut is because of how many times I have to go up and down the ladder with one leg. I'm actually using a jigsaw and with a multi-purpose blade, and it cuts right through this PVC slat wall with ease. And I did forget the mud ring on there, and yeah, that wasn't fun. Well, now we're going to the next wall over, and what's nice about this wall, it's one of the only walls that I don't have to notch around anything. Oh, it's such a nice feeling to be able to just blaze through this wall pretty quickly. And if you don't have any windows or openings, this installation goes really quick. Now, what was nice about finishing off this wall, I was able to cut all the pieces because all of them matched up. Cut them all ahead of time, and I was able to put them in arm's reach of me and just go pretty quickly with the last few pieces. Now I'm getting to the last two, and I call my brother to come over and help me with the last two because I really do not want to do the last two pieces at the top. Well, my brother was kind of a no-show and wasn't coming over, so guess what? You can do it! Now there's a saying, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You must do the things which you think you cannot do. Eleanor Roosevelt. I love that saying. And that's basically what I had to do here. This last piece actually took a long time because you're battling the measurements for the ceiling, which are not that great. But I'm not going to bore you with all the cleanup work. I think it's coming along nicely here. There's still a little bit more cleaning to do, but really massive transformation here. My brother did come over and help me with some lights on the ceiling because the lighting is dismal. Lots of dark spots. It's only got the garage door opener lights, and now with the LED lights, it lights up everything nicely. And Bear is really liking all the room in the garage, and I think he looks a little comfortable. And that's about all I have for you for this one until Phase 6. Yes, there will be a Phase 6. I'm not going to show you that section of the garage just yet. But I really appreciate you tuning in to Tripod's Garage. I want to thank Proslat for sponsoring this video. Please have a wonderful day, evening, or weekend, or whenever you decide to watch this video. Thanks again for tuning in to Tripod's Garage.